Hey everybody, welcome back
to the Double Distraction Podcast.
With me, Shannon, and her, Ceara. And we're here.
Me and Shannon.
We are here with another banging episode.
Never say banging episode.
But before we get into it, a quick self promo. Head on over to Instagram and like our page. Follow our page at double.distraction.pod.
Hey.
Also head on over to our YouTube, which if you're listening right now, you're probably on our YouTube already. So hit the subscribe button and hit the little notification bell so you don't miss any of our episodes. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. First, I have a momentary distraction.
Yes, we created a new segment that we never mentioned.
Yeah, it's fine though. I have a momentary distraction. I have been sick, so that is why I sound like I'm dying a little bit. I'm coming out of it, so I'm okay.
COVID-19.
But I have the you know when like you're almost done being sick, but you have like the little last particles, the little last remnants, lingering, like, that are just holding on, and you're like, dude, you should have been gone yesterday.
Talking to your dude, you should have been gone.
Dude, what the fuck, bro? Like, why are you still here? You know?
I'm sick of looking at you.
Chad, I'm sick of looking at your stupid face.
God.
Just go.
Just because we're brothers doesn't mean shit, bro.
Fucking leave me alone.
Yes, so your momentary distraction is that you're sick?
That I'm sick, and so that's why I sound ridiculous.
My momentary distraction is that water is good for you, and I have been drinking a lot of it.
Water is good for you. I've been telling you to drink water for ages.
I bought a Brita. I always have my Brita, but it's like I can't drink
But you
water.
don't drink even one whole one.
No.
In a day.
I think there's like today doesn't count. Yesterday, I think I had 4.
Okay, that's good.
I've been drinking a lot of water.
I've always been like a super water person because I don't really like soda. Like I'll drink.
I mean, I don't drink soda either. I just don't drink anything at all. Like I just don't drink. And my mom used to be like, drink water after you eat. I'm like, oh, I should probably do that.
You're like, oh right, liquid. I don't.
But yeah, so that's it for me for my momentary distraction.
Water is good, and Shannon is sick.
Anywho, Shannon, what are we talking about today? What's happening?
We're talking about something super fun and a little out there. I feel like it's not that out there. I mean,
but I don't think I've seen people do it.
But me and Ceara are both lovers of darkness. And we're gonna be talking about villains and our favorite villains in movies and shows.
All that.
I don't know. I feel like villains have a lot more depth to them. They have a lot more life experience. They have a lot more like dark shit that happens to them, and I tend to gravitate towards dark stuff. So I always end up liking villains more.
You're a villain.
I'm sorry.
We get it.
I'm the villain in my own story.
Yeah, so how do you want to do this? You want to talk about them first? Or because we're going to do a bracket. And we want to see.
We're going to do like a March Madness type bracket thing, but for villains. And at the end, we're going to.
Oh my God, we're going
to see who we are in March. Do you see how I planned that out?
No, you didn't. We filmed this episode once before. 3 weeks ago. Yes, we didn't.
Not this one.
We were supposed to.
But now it's in March and it matches perfectly.
Fine.
But at the end of this episode, we will have a crowning, a reigning winner, a crowned winner.
Doesn't matter.
A villain of all villains, the top dog.
How are we rating these? Just on how much, like what they've done, how we feel about them?
Yeah. I want to know, because you've been hyping up how out there your fucking list is. So I really want to know. I really want to know who this list is.
All of them? Or do you want me to just give you one and then you give me one, or like what? Because they have like some of them I have to tell you where they're from because you might not remember.
Okay, let's do one face off. You do one face off. I do. So like we have pair. Me and Ceara. Okay. Pause. I'm going to explain really quick how me and Ceara are going to do this. So if you guys know a bracket, there's 16 on one side and 16 on the other. So Ceara chose 16 villains that are her favorites or who that she really likes. And I chose 16 that I really like. So basically, we're both going to be doing half of the bracket. And then at the end, our final 2 are like we're gonna face off against each other, if that makes sense. So we, through our 16, we paired them up into sets of 2, so there should be 8 face-offs.
Yeah. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna do your first.
My first 2.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do my first 2.
Ooh.
And we're gonna keep going back and forth like that until we get to the end.
Okay. All right. So I'm going first.
Yes. And you can do whatever. You can talk about each one. You can whatever.
Okay. I shouldn't have put these 2 together because I love them so much, but I just wanted to talk about them because, okay, so my first villain I have is Amon, who is the main villain from Legend of Korra. I love him. He was, to this day, the best villain I've ever seen in my life. And I hate series, and this is part of the reason I stopped watching series is because of what happened with him. I'm not gonna say what happened, but basically he was like wreaking havoc and like brainwashing people.
We already spoiled Endgame. So
well, Endgame is like a big thing. Endgame's like huge. If you haven't seen it, you're a dingus. But some people might want to watch Legend of Korra and be like, ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. But basically, he's like the best villain I've ever seen. I fell in love with him from the first moment I saw him on the screen. He wore this like creepy mask. And then underneath, like people were like, what are you hiding? And then his mask got taken off and he had like a scar. And people were like, oh. So he wasn't like being like a liar. And even though he was lying about some stuff, it was crazy. He's great. So Amon is from Legend of Korra. And then I have him against Loki. Of course. The Prince of Darkness. What is he? He's the god of mischief, the Prince of Darkness.
You know what? After I made my list, I realized there were like so many villains I could have put on the list, but I could only pick 16. And then I'm like, fuck, I forgot. I forgot about Loki for a second.
I didn't forget anybody. So if out of my list, Loki's from Marvel.
Yeah.
You guys don't know.
Thor.
He's Thor's brother.
Yeah.
But okay, so Amon versus Loki for me, easily. Loki wins, but
why? You literally were just Amon. like falling in love with
because
Amon
died in the movie. So so did Loki, but Loki lived longer. I'm gonna pick Loki though because I really, really love Loki.
I haven't seen Legend of Korra, so I can't speak on that dude.
He's a waterbender, but people don't know that. And he like uses blood bending to trick people.
Wow.
But
lit.
So I
need to watch Legend of Korra.
I highly recommend season 1. You don't even have to watch past that. She pissed me off every season because she lost her bending every single time. I'm like, you're the worst avatar to ever live. She's the worst.
Wow. I am gonna start. I have some pairings that are like really. I tried to pair like
a weak with a strong.
No. I tended to pair like strong villains with strong villains, which sucks because I fucked myself up doing that. But I'm gonna go from like the bottom of the barrel to the top. So my first pairing I'm gonna do is Lady Tremaine and Yzma. So Lady Tremaine is Yzma. Cinderella's stepmom in the. Okay, disclaimer: all of my villains tend to be either like Disney, Star Wars, or like random fucking
Harry
movies.
Potter.
Sorry. So Lady Tremaine against Yzma. I mean, honestly, this is an easy thing. I think Yzma wins for sure because of like.
You can tell people who Yzma was.
I'm sorry, Yzma is from Legend of. I was about to say Legend of Cusco.
No. Cusco. What is his show
The
called?
Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, that movie. Yzma is the lady with the wacky hair with the henchman.
And she's like anorexic.
Yeah. She is hilarious.
Oh, I just realized this whole time she's trying to get rid of him so she can be queen.
Are you kidding me?
I forgot
what?
that. That's the whole
premise. What
premise.
Did you think she was doing?
No, because I watched the show, and
that's
then
why she turned him into a llama.
No, I know, but I watched the show. The movie
on Disney Channel,
right? But the movie was first, and then the show, and in the show, it's just like wacky things where she's like, I tried to get you, but I missed, and so it's like I forgot that the
but it was like a prequel
reason.
To the show.
It was
prequel to the movie,
right? But they released it after the movie, so it's confusing, and so I forgot until just now. Go ahead. Carry on. Yzma.
And her henchman Kronk, which if you guys have not seen Kronk's New Groove, That movie is so good, and he
Squeak,
falls in love.
squeak,
He
squeaker,
falls
squeak.
in love with the camp counselor, and I just love it.
Squeaker, squeak. Squeaker, squeak, squeak, squeak.
Squeak McSqueakers. Anyway, so for me, Lady Yzma wins, but let's just talk about Lady Tremaine because I'm sorry, I keep mixing up their names. Yzma and Lady Tremaine. So I put this in because Cinderella growing up was my favorite movie, and the stepmom was just like the worst human ever, and I always would wonder, like, what is her deal? Like, what did she experience in life that she is this fucking... Well, she was also a gold digger because she was just trying to like
birth to two of the ugliest human beings. And then the man that she was supposed to be with, he has a beautiful daughter, and she's like, well, frick, I can't do anything right.
Yeah, so she always just kind of was like, I wanted to know what her deal was.
Her daughters are ugly, and so is she. So she's a hater. That's what her deal is.
Anyway, so that was like my very like top, like low tier villains, but so Yzma wins that for me. So
Yzma, wow, that's a good one.
Is it really?
I
was doing this, and I'm like, literally, I'm a child because I'm picking all fucking Disney shit, but that's fine.
I try to mix it up because I have like real people mixed with like cartoons, but it's mostly cartoon people. Am I next?
Yes, you are.
All right, my next one is Father from Kids Next Door versus the Joker. Father from Kids Next Door, I don't know if you remember, he was the Black Shadow man who when the kids next door, their enemies were the lovely kids from down the lane, and there was like those group of kids who all spoke at the
like
same
snobby
time.
Kids.
Yeah, the rich kids, and like their father, they would like carry out crimes for their father.
Yeah,
and his name was Father. But when they wouldn't, they would come back.
I love when like all their kids shows, like they just said like father, mother, you know the names.
Yes, but in this show, whenever it's delightful kids from down the lane, I just remembered, when they would go back and be like, Father, they escaped, we weren't able to catch them, he would turn around in the chair and be like, so you're telling me that you couldn't do the one thing? And then he would like burst into flames.
Yeah.
And little me, when I was a kid, was like, I am attracted right now to that. I think I have an issue with anger, and like
you like that.
Yes, and I was like, Father, I love him.
Absolutely.
Love him
right now.
And he just had a nice voice. I don't know who the voice actor is at this moment, but I really, really liked his character because he was crazy. And then, of course, Joker is the Joker, and he's my favorite villain of all time. So, in this pairing, Joker wins.
But I knew that as soon as it came out of your mouth.
But Father is great and should not be slept on. I love him.
Wow.
And Kids Next Door was such a great freaking show.
It was a really good show.
So good.
I like how in those kids shows they also like always do the cut off head, like the adult is always like too tall for the like TV screen. So it's like the heads are always cut off, and you're just like, what is happening? But I wonder if they were doing that because they knew like kids were watching, and they're like, they don't give a fuck what this person looks like.
And also it's less to animate. Who wants to animate a character who no one cares about? Nobody.
I mean, Fairly Odd Parents, the parents were awesome,
but they were real characters at part of the story. Timmy, I'm respecting you by knocking on your door, but asserting my authority as a parent by coming in anyway.
Oh my god,
it's one of my favorite episodes.
I can't. Okay, so my next pairing is Prince Zuko from
that's a good
Airbender.
one. Do I have Zuko on here?
And Hades from Hercules.
Ooh, Hades is actually in my next bracket.
Yeah. Love Hades because I love also
if there's anybody who's me,
the thing I like about the Disney movies is that the villains a lot of times are like comic relief type thing, but they're also like really evil. Like even Yzma, like she was comedy relief for sure. Kronk, comedy relief.
He's not even evil.
He's not even like a villain, but they've kind of bunched him in with Yzma. So Hades I've always really loved because one, the Hercules movie is bomb, but two, Hades is just so funny, and every time the little like stupid henchman, pain and suffering, pain and fright.
Maybe
one of them is pain, and the other one is,
and they go reporting for duty.
Yeah. But every time they would mess up, he like his fire, he would turn like orange, and then I'm sure you were into Hades too.
I actually wasn't into Hades. I wanted to be Hades so badly.
Oh my god!
I was like, That's me.
And he also, like, watching the Hercules movies as an adult, when he speaks with, like, the ladies with the eyes.
Yes, he's like, how you doing?
He's so, like, charismatic. Like,
he's like, you don't look a day over 1,000.
Like, manipulative, like, trying to get what he wants. And I was like, damn, like, he has a lot more to him than just, like, you know, as a kid, you're like, oh my God, it's Hades. Ew.
That wasn't me. That was
but
not
you know,
me.
like, you don't think about it more.
Oh,
but
yeah,
like watching the movie now. Anyway. And then I chose Prince Zuko, obviously from The Last Airbender.
Hades against Zuko?
It's a hard fucking matchup.
Oof.
I know. But I put Prince Zuko. I mean, I kind of already know who wins in the pit of my stomach, but like Prince Zuko I chose because of The Last Airbender. I love that series. Yeah. The whole show.
Perfect, I knew from beginning to end.
I knew I was gonna like Zuko.
Yeah.
And I knew that he was good on the inside. Like from the beginning of the show.
The ponytail.
Everybody hated him in the fucking beginning, but I knew that there was something inside of him, and I wanted him to be with the girl so
Katara.
Fucking bad.
Everybody wanted him to be with
I wanted
Katara.
him to be with her so bad, but then I also wanted him to be with me because I was a little teenager and I
Funny
was
thing
in
about
love
that
with
is
him.
You're real and he is not. So.
I know. But you had a crush on fucking Father from the
I still have a crush on him.
Anyway.
I love him.
So I just liked him as a character. And then even watching, because we kind of grew up with that show too. Like by the end of that show, we were older, ish kind of. And I just loved his storyline and the change he goes through.
His character development was perfect.
Best. Fucking amazing. So for me, in this matchup, I think that Prince Zuko wins for me. However, Hades cannot be forgotten, and I love him so much.
But speaking of Zuko, I didn't put this villain down, but I think from that same show, honorable mention villain, Azula, his sister, best villain.
She was good too.
She was insane. I was like, she's actually crazy.
Yeah, she was great too. But yeah, Prince Zuko.
Over Hades, that's what I would choose
because I think overall, like he has like his character arc, but also you have to say like Zuko had a whole series, Hades had a movie, but like they also had the Hercules show on Disney, and Hades was in that, but like they didn't really do it. Wasn't great, and they didn't do anything with Hades anyway. It was
when he was like before he became Hercules.
Yeah. So it wasn't even anyway. So Prince Zuko I think wins for me.
Dang. Well, my next bracket is Hades. Versus Brain from Pinky and the Brain. He's the little mouse. And then Pinky
oh my God.
Yes, Pinky would be like, what are we doing today, Brain? He's like, same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. And he's voiced by Maurice LaMarche, who I freaking... Actually, Maurice LaMarche is the voice of Father. It just clicked. I remembered. I love Brain, but not more than Hades. So for this bracket... Hades wins, but
I mean,
Brain is freaking great. He's just so tiny and cute, but he wants to rule the world.
Smart.
Great, and he's a rat. Are they mice? They're lab mice. But I love that whole show. Like Warner Brothers, all of their cartoon comedies are my favorite to date, and I think they're the reason that I'm funny today because they were killing it through and through. Okay. So Hades versus Brain. Hades wins for me.
Okay.
And anybody who didn't look at Hades and just go, he's great, they have to be crazy. He was the best character in that show.
He really was.
But don't sleep on Hercules because he was so... He's probably the first hero who I was like, I have no issues with him. I was like, and Meg screwed him over and he was still there to help her. And
but I loved their...
song?
Yes.
Her song.
Loved
I liked her song.
God. Jesus.
But anywho, that's my next one. Who do you have? I'm excited about my next one, so
my next one is kind of like a weird... So I grew up watching Lord of the Rings. And I'm not gonna say the typical villains or anything like that. Like not the main dude. Or even like I'm really bad with names, so I literally can't remember. Like the guy, the eye in the tower. Which I'm blanking on his name. No. If you guys are watching and you know Lord of the Rings, you know who I'm talking about. I am really bad with names or characters or whatever. But the all-seeing eye dude that's a villain. Or the bad wizard.
Of Oz.
No. But I always really liked Gollum.
Really?
Yeah. I always really liked him. He is like technically because he's like
assisting the bad people.
No, it's more so because like he wants the ring for himself, so he's like bad because he's trying to like take the ring back or like whatever. But I feel like he also doesn't really know what he's doing. And then later on,
he doesn't have clothes. You don't get to win if you're naked.
But also like in the Hobbit and even flashbacks or some like character development from the original Lord of the Rings movies, like you kind of see his backstory and like what the fuck happened to him, and it's just like his story is really touching. Basically, like he found the ring and then like he was with the uncle of Frodo. Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
I've never seen it once.
So like Lord of the Rings, it's Frodo and his buddies,
right?
But his uncle,
Orlando Bloom, and some other person.
Orlando Bloom was an elf.
What? He wasn't Frodo?
No, Frodo was a hobbit. Frodo and his hobbit friends.
What is a hobbit? What is that?
A hobbit is like a little mythical creature. It's like a mythical creature
like
with
a troll.
They look like people, but like shorter, and like they have big feet with hair on them.
Oh my god, am I a hobbit right
now? But basically Gollum was a friend of Frodo's uncle or whatever, and they went fishing, or they were like out one day, and Gollum found, which Gollum is not his actual person name, that's his name now as like a decrepit creature, but anyway, found the ring, he became obsessed, whatever, he tried to kill Frodo's uncle for the ring, and then he was living in a cave, and that's where Frodo found him. The ring was with Frodo, obviously, so then Gollum was trying to take the ring back, and blah blah blah. It's this whole thing. But I always really liked him because of his character, like because of his backstory, and like there's more to him than like him just being like trying to get the ring back. So I always really liked his villainy. And I thought he was a good character for the series, for Lord of the Rings. And I just liked him a lot. Sorry guys, I just went on a whole tangent about Gollum.
It's fine.
But then against him, I have Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame, the priest. That's Frollo. Count. The priest,
that his name,
dude.
Frollo?
Yeah,
you're confusing me now because you said Frodo and now it's like Frollo.
Frollo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
He's the archdeacon from Hunchback.
So he's the priest
his
dude from the Hunchback.
What's his Claude? Claude. His name's Claude Frollo.
Okay, but the reason he's even on this list at all is because of
his song.
A few months back, me and Ceara were talking about Disney movies, and we were talking about the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I was my favorite one. And I was like, I have not seen that movie in like years, and Ceara was like singing praises about it, that it's awesome, and like movie. This dude's song was really good in that movie.
Hellfire.
My family got Disney Plus. And I was like, okay. And I saw the Notre Dame movies and I started watching them. And that movie, not my favorite Disney movie, but
it's advanced.
It is like, I was watching that movie now and I was like, how in the hell did they have this movie out for children? Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously
his song is literally about the gypsy better like me or I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah. Like he's like, she better sleep with me. And be with me, or I'm going to kill her. Hellfire is the name of the song, correct?
Because he's talking about how the fire of her like feistiness is creating some fire inside him.
He's basically horny and he wants her. Like he is attracted to her, but because of his religiousness, he shouldn't because she's a gypsy, dirty thing. Yeah, and he is basically like fighting his urges and taking it out on her because he doesn't know how to deal with it. But his song is phenomenal and his character is phenomenal. The way he dies is amazing.
My favorite, there's a line in his song that is so, it means nothing to anybody else, but just the way he says it, I love it. He goes, Beata Maria, you know I am a righteous man. Of my virtue I am justly proud. The second line, Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. That's my favorite line. Yeah. Where it's like he's praising himself, and the whole point of the song is that he's trying to fight his urges, which means he's not better than anybody. Yeah. And I don't know, I just really like that line.
So yeah, the only reason he's even on this list is because of Ceara, and she I love
that movie.
brought it out of me that I liked the character. So him against Gollum, I actually don't know, because it's not like top tier villains or anything. Like,
I know who I would pick.
I don't know though, because Gollum is like, I've been watching these movies since I was young. Like, I like, you know, he holds like a place in my heart. But then Frollo is like, I feel like he is just such a powerful character.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
That's who I would choose. I love Frollo.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Frollo because I really like his song.
What am I talking about?
What?
I said that line was my favorite line. From his song, it is, but my favorite song from that entire movie is What Makes a Monster and What Makes a Man. Oof. Oof, it gets
that movie had really that movie has a
body.
lot of good songs.
Oh, yes.
The musical arrangement is really, really well done.
Esmeralda's song, God Help the Outcasts, that's beautiful. Also, when something happens and then she sings Someday.
Yeah.
I'm in love with that movie.
I'm actually surprising myself, and I'm gonna go with Frollo because I think that he has a lot of good villainy qualities, but
because
also Gollum is like not true villain. Like, I feel like a lot of Gollum, like, he doesn't even realize, because he's being pulled by his urge of the ring. Like, you know, he's being pulled by the ring. Like, it's not of himself to be a villainous person.
Yeah. Whereas,
like, Frollo, you can make the argument that his religion is pushing him to be the way that he is, but I think in himself he's a really twisted dude. I don't know. He has a lot more. Like, I want to know more about what's going on in his brain.
Do you know what happens in the story that makes him kind of evil? The reason he got to Notre Dame is him and his brother were orphans, and his brother's name was Jean.
Yeah.
There's French, so I never know if they're saying Cheon or Jeon.
Mm-hmm.
His brother was like a sort of like a womanizer man, and so they both were seeking refuge in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And Claude Frollo was so thankful for that refuge that they gave him that he decided to become a priest. And so he worked his way through the ranks and made it to be the archdeacon. Yeah. Whereas his brother was like doing drugs, hanging out with the gypsies, getting drunk and like partying. His son is the hunchback, and he comes back to Notre Dame.
The brother's son?
Yes, his brother is the hunchback. And so
his brother's son is the hunchback. Not
yes.
Okay.
So basically, what happens? I skipped a part.
Wait. But Frollo, the mom of
that's what happens in the movie, but that's not what happens in the book.
Oh, there's a book.
Yes, this is based off the book. In the real story, Jean basically, so he gets kicked out of Notre Dame because they're like, you're being gross and disgusting. We don't want that.
The brother.
Yes, they're like, we can't have that. And so they're like, sorry, Claude, we have decided to expel him from Notre Dame. So they kick him out, and then his brother gets like sick, and then he doesn't hear from him. So finally, Frollo is a priest. And so he gets a letter from his brother where he is. So he sneaks away from Notre Dame, and then his brother's like sick, and he's like, can you take care of this baby? He's like, what? He's like, this isn't a baby. This is a monster. He goes, this is what you get. He's like, the wicked shall not go unpunished. You have an ugly baby. He's like, I shouldn't have come to you because he's like, you only think about yourself. He's like, if you care about me at all, take care of my son. And then he dies. He's like, fine. He's like, I'll raise this thing. He's like, I'll teach him to think like me, be like me. And then he just makes him be religious.
Him as a slave.
Exactly. And that's the whole story.
Bell's Tower.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
You have to watch the musical. It's so good.
Gee, I didn't know that the whole story of this went so deep. Damn.
It's so good. A lot of them do. Like Mulan, Cinderella. All of them have like the extensive stories.
Wow.
So good.
Okay. All right. Okay.
There's so many good lines in that. I think forever I will always love What Makes a Monster and What Makes a Man. Forever. Woo! Okay, so my next ones. Did you pick? You said you chose Frollo?
Yep.
Oh, poor Gollum.
Especially now, more so now that you're telling me all this backstory.
Because
that's literally, that's what makes me like villains is like the deepness, the backstory of them, all of that.
Yeah, that's why he leaned so much into religion, because he felt like he owed religion his life because they saved him and his brother. Okay. My next ones, these are probably my two favorite villains of all time. And I had to pair them together because I know who I would choose, but I had to make arguments for both of them.
Of all time?
Of all time.
You already did Joker.
I know he's like forever my favorite for who he is.
Oh.
These two are my favorite for what they are.
Okay.
Okay, Ultron from Age of Ultron. The second I saw that movie,
Yeah.
and his character was introduced, I was like, I am in
Absolutely.
love. I love his voice. I love the way he ended up looking.
That's the one that comes up in Egypt and like with the technology.
Egypt? No. That's the one where they...
Oh no, I'm thinking of never mind. I'm sorry. Keep talking.
In Age of Ultron, this is after the second...
I was thinking of an X-Men movie.
Oh, I love that one too. He's actually one of my favorite villains, but I didn't put him on here.
Yeah. That's who in my head. That's who I was thinking.
That's an X-Men,
the newer X-Men movies.
Yeah.
The when
Olivia Munn is in that.
Young and
it's
shit.
really good. The music is beautiful.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah, Age of Ultron. He is a robot that Tony Stark. He's not a robot. He's artificial intelligence that Tony created because when he got into a fight with Scarlet Witch when they were evil with her brother. And so Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were being held captive by Hydra. When the Avengers were trying to storm the Hydra base, they found them.
So I am thinking of the right person.
No, because I know what you're talking about. They weren't in Egypt. I know exactly what you're talking about because it was...
Was that the original, the movie?
No, but Quicksilver is in X-Men, but he got
killed
in Marvel.
In Marvel. Okay.
Yes, but
okay.
That's why, because it's like he's kind of not DC, but he belongs to X-Men, but for some reason they brought him to
an X-Men
Avengers character. Yeah, but I didn't like the original Quicksilver
because him and the girl are twins, and they are in the comic books. They are Magneto's children. But I don't know why they brought them into Marvel at all, because I was like, what the fuck? But then I'm like, they probably just needed like a love interest for fucking that dude, the robot dude.
They were not
the guy with the gem in his head.
Oh, Vision.
Yeah, Vision. Sorry. See, I'm so bad with fucking names. I'm so bad with names.
He is birthed in this movie.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Because, I'm
thinking they needed a way to tie all these fucking people together.
I don't think so. But, so basically, Ultron is a artificial intelligence that when Tony gets into a fight with Scarlet Witch, she gives him a vision that the world is going to end if Tony doesn't do something to stop it. Because it has to be a power that's greater than the Avengers, because they're not immortal. They're gonna die.
Right.
So he was like, I need to create something that will not die. So with the help of Banner, reluctantly, he creates Ultron, and Ultron's main goal is peace in our time, and that's the whole entire theme of the movie. And when he is born, he realizes that the Avengers are equally as bad as the villains, because he's like, what makes you evil is death, because that's what Tony taught him. He's like, when you kill, you are evil. So what do the Avengers do? They kill the evil, but that's based on their own judgment. So then Ultron turns against Tony, and basically in his birth, he is realizing what's happening because he is like, his information is being downloaded, and Vision is actually, before he is Vision in a body, he is Marvel fans are gonna kill me. I don't remember his name. When he talks, Jarvis, yeah. Ooh, that was gonna get me. He's Jarvis, and Jarvis is like, if you allow me to go get Mr. Stark, you seem to be hostile. He's like, no, you're hostile. And then he's like seeing
you're hostile, dude.
And then he like
don't
destroys.
Come to me telling me that I'm like.
And then he destroys Jarvis, and then he becomes the one AI that Tony has. And so, which is bad because I'm remembering
this movie as you're talking about it. There are so many movies and stories. Jesus Christ.
But the reason I like Ultron so much is because right after he kills Jarvis, he's like, I'm starting to see things so clearly now, because he's looking at the news and comparing, like, he's like, he sees when the Avengers destroyed Sokovia, which is actually, no, Sokovia happens in this movie, but they destroyed New York before that with Loki and his nonsense that he brought. He goes, I am starting to see clearly. He goes, and he sings "There Are No Strings on Me" from Pinocchio, meaning he's like, I no longer have a controller because I know what I need to do, because Tony would be his controller. But then in the end of the movie, like, he starts like saying things that Tony Stark would say, and people are like, and he meets I always forget this man's name. He's the main villain in Black Panther, the white man before. He's Claw or whatever. Claude.
I think it's Claw.
Yes, because
he's the guy who was working with Michael B. Jordan's character.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So in this movie, Claw is working for like other evil people.
This is when Black Panther's dad dies.
No, this is
No. That happened with.
after.
Okay, sorry.
It happens right after.
So many storylines.
But so most important of Ultron is he was making a sale for Claw, and he was like, I love this quote. I said it to my mom a while ago. She goes, or he said to Claw, he's like, the only thing you need to know about money is you keep your enemies rich and your friends rich, and you wait to find which is which. And you keep your friends rich and your enemies rich, and you wait to find which is which. So whatever those people do with the money,
figure out who your enemies are.
Exactly. So I love that quote, and
it's an interesting quote.
It really is. And when he says that, Claw is like, Tony Stark used to say that to me. He's like, I am not Tony Stark. And he's like, I feel like you are. And then he gets angry and rips off his arm.
I feel like
he gets angry and rips off his arm.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason Claw has a fake arm.
Yeah.
That's why I love Ultron. And then my second one, that was really long for me to
say. It's okay.
My second one, this one is the closest to my heart. Hopper from A Bug's Life is my favorite.
Hopper?
He's the lead
guy,
grasshopper. He is voiced by Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm.
I know people aren't supposed to like Kevin Spacey, but I love
that was
Kevin
a great
Spacey.
movie.
It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. And he has a quote. Did I write it down? Yes, I did. And one of my favorite quotes from that movie, Hopper says, he goes, first rule, what does he say? First rule of leadership, everything is your fault. And I was like, me as an 8-year-old, I was like, he gets it. He gets it. Because when I'm the oldest child, it's like, you're always in trouble if somebody's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I really admired that. And I loved the way that he was like, he's like, the only reason you're alive, to his brother, he's like, it's because I promised Mom I wouldn't kill you.
Yeah.
And I just loved his character. And I loved at the end where he was like, he was going through his fall, and he was like, is this another fake bird? He's like, come out of there, little girls. I'm not scared of you. And then he gets eaten by a real bird.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I honestly, thinking back about that movie, like, he was really good.
He was so good.
Oh my God.
The ants pick the food. The grasshoppers eat the food. And then the grasshoppers leave. And then at the end, skip, hop, jump, whatever his name is.
Jump.
Whatever the ant's name is, he's like, the ants pick the food, the ants keep the food, and then the grasshoppers leave. And he was like, what? I don't know. But that's also where the fat caterpillar is in that. He goes, I'm a beautiful butterfly.
That movie's so good. Can we watch it?
It's one of my favorite movies.
Can we watch it?
Sure.
After we film?
No. I go to bed at 7 p.m. now.
Whatever.
But anywho, so out of those two, Ultron versus Hopper, I have to choose Ultron, but I will not let Hopper die in vain. I love Hopper.
I will not let Hopper die in vain.
And to me, Kevin Spacey and James Spader, who's the voice of Ultron, they sound so similar, and it makes sense why I like them so much, because they're so similar.
A lot of times, villains are made really
great by their voices. That's why I like Frollo.
But also the actors.
Frollo? It just sounds weird.
It's definitely Frollo. I looked it up before.
That's why I like him. His voice is incredible.
Okay, my next people are real humans. They're not cartoon villains. But first,
I really thought you were gonna say Fergie. I was like, excuse me.
Fergie, the villain of our lifetime,
of our national anthem.
Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Okay.
And Ramsay from Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Ramsay is the name of the guy who you were just talking about from X-Men. He's the villain. His name's Ramsay.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, so Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. If you guys haven't watched that movie, he's a serial killer basically. Mm-hmm. But the movie is him kind of. He starts out really perfect, and by the end of the movie, he's like completely off the rails, like crazy bonkers.
I'm gonna watch it someday.
So the movie, you haven't watched that movie?
I've never seen it, but I know I would love it.
Oh my God.
I've seen parts of it for every film class that I've had. They make us watch it every time, like scenes.
Seriously, like this movie, if you're somebody who really likes like true crime type shit or like horror movies or like serial killer stuff.
You're naming everything that I hate.
I love it.
Why do I need to watch this?
I love all these things because of my mom, because she's into all these things, and I would grow up watching movies with her, and like it was just, so we now have the same taste in pretty much movies. But anyway, I really like his character because one, Christian Bale did an amazing job portraying him, acting for his character, all that stuff. The way it was filmed, the way that they like gradually showed him going insane, like, oh, just everything about his character was amazing. But Ramsay from Game of Thrones. I know at the beginning of this episode I said I always end up loving villains. I always end up loving the villain and like, oh my God, oh my God. Game of Thrones has a myriad of villains in it. There's a lot of bad people. I mean, Tyrion's father is also a really good, amazing villain in that series. I could have put him in this list, but I didn't. I decided not to. But my point is to say there's a lot of villains in Game of Thrones, but no villain through the entire series, or really anything I've ever seen, has given me such a visceral, like, hatred reaction than Ramsay. To this day, even like thinking about it, it like makes my blood boil. Like that is how, like that's how intensely this character, and I think I think a lot of people feel this way as well thinking about Game of Thrones, but his character affected you so much watching that show. It's like it stays with you. Wow. Like the final episode, when he, well, if you guys haven't seen Game of Thrones, I'm sorry, but in the episode where he finally is killed by Sansa, backstory of this person, he's basically like a sociopath, like serial killer mentality type person. He like kills people, he tortures people. He keeps Theon as like his pet slave. He like cuts his dick off. He like he tortures Theon, and he strips Theon of his identity, and like he basically doesn't know who he is anymore, and he's just like Ramsay's slave. He also marries Sansa, and he rapes her on a daily basis, tortures her, controls her, manipulates her. All like
sounds like a great show.
The whole nine. Like basically, Ramsay is just like the worst of the worst human like ever. But again, as much as I hate him, he is a great villain. Like the epitome of a villain, I think, because it's like he's so evil, he's so awful, he's so disgusting. The actor who plays him does an amazing job.
Who is the actor?
Of playing. I have no idea who the actor is. Okay. I could look it up quickly, but the actor does a great job of playing him. Ramsay Bolton. He is played by...
I probably won't even know who the person is. I just was curious.
Well, he was also a bastard, but then like Bolton took him in as his son. Sorry. Portrayed by Ewan Rion.
Wait. Who?
Ewan Rion.
Let me see. Hold on.
I think that's the guy from Ella Enchanted. It's not the guy from Ella Enchanted. Is it the guy?
No, but he looks like a comedian that I like.
Ewan Iwan Rion Rheon. He's Welsh. Anyway, amazing acting.
He looks so cute and sweet.
He seems like such a sweet person, and like
as a villain, he killed it.
Oh my God, killed it. So this is my pairing. I really like Patrick Bateman again, but I think Ramsay has to win for me because he just like, as much as I hate and despise him, especially because of my own personal experience in my life, like seeing that type of person portrayed in a series so intense, like the fact that he could give me such a reaction is why I love his character so much. I hate his character, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ramsay Bolton.
Okay. I don't know either of them, but I really should watch American Psycho because, like I said, every film class I've ever had, they make us watch
because it's also filmed really well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I remember the one scene that I've seen a lot, and I still to this moment have no idea what the context is for the movie is the business card scene.
Yeah.
Where they're like showing the different ones.
Yeah, it's basically like a pissing match about like who has the best business card.
Yeah,
and like his friend and like his friend gets like a better looking business card than him.
Yeah,
and that scene is actually when he's starting to go a little crazy.
Oh, okay.
So because his friend had like the better business card, he like
upset.
has a mental breakdown. Like his character also has OCD and like he's a perfectionist.
That I knew, but
so if his thing is not the best of the best or it's not perfect, he like goes kind of crazy. So that scene is really important for his character because he does not have the best business card. Or
he should have got the eggshell with the texture.
Yeah. So that actually is a really good scene.
Yeah, I will watch the movie.
We can watch it together.
Okay, I'm not gonna watch it by myself. I'll tell you that right now.
I love that movie. It's really good.
Okay. All right. So my next bracket of people. It's shorter than you think.
Hour.
It's shorter than you think. We have like a 30-minute intro of you being like, I have coronavirus. You didn't. I said that.
Coronavirus.
I have the corona. Okay, my next bracket are two people. One of these people I actually know. You know both of them. One of them, Evelyn Salt from Salt.
Oh,
with
Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp.
No, that's the tourist. You say this every time. No, it's the one where she has the straight.
She's a spy.
She's bangs in both of them.
She's a spy.
Yes, she's a Russian spy.
Doesn't she fall in love with somebody?
No. This is why I love this movie. There's no love interest, and actually,
that was a good movie.
I have to sneeze.
Oh my god, me too.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Cut that shit out.
For sure. I don't need people being like, I'm gonna get corona just from listening.
Nostril break.
Delicious.
That was disgusting.
Okay, Evelyn Salt. So she is
Salt.
They don't know that she's Russian, and she's been living her life as like an American for so long that she forgot.
Okay, I'm remembering all of it now. Okay,
she was a Russian spy sent to spy on America, and they trained her in Russia, and then she came to infiltrate, but then she became
forgot what she was doing.
She became CIA, and she forgot, and then she got married and all this. They find out, and there's like a secret that they need from Russia, like Russia's coming to break in, and they're like, we need our spies that we sent to get together. She's like, oh, I forgot that's what I was here for.
Yeah. And isn't there like a word or like something that triggers them or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. That's brainwashing, and that happens in Captain America with Bucky.
Oh, okay.
He's also Russian. Technically he's from Yes. So Evelyn Salt, I love her character because, and the funny thing is, I was waffling whether to put her on this list because she started out as a villain, but like I said, she forgot. So she wasn't a villain until like the middle of the movie. She's like, oh. And so now she has to figure out what she wants to do. And if you haven't seen this movie, I'm sorry, because I'm about to spoil it because it was so well written and I didn't see this coming. Mm-hmm. I should have, because I've seen a lot of movies like this and the premise is very simple. But the man who was like hunting her, who was her best friend, was so pissed off at her. He's like, you lied to me. He's like, I tried to help you and I trusted you. He was also a Russian spy and he fucked her over at the end. And I was like, are you? I didn't see it coming. He was using her. There was somebody who infiltrated, and so he had to use her and say she was the mole, but it was him, so he could finish it.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the scene where she's like in the interrogation room and then she runs and then she escapes.
Yes.
Oh my god!
And while she's on the run, they go to her husband and they kill him. When that happened, I could not believe like that's why she snapped. She's like, okay, I'm not gonna help you. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And so she was like literally in love with this man for like 10 years. They got married. They were fine. And they killed him in like 2 seconds. She was like, oh, I forgot that's what you people do. And towards the end, when she's like about to fight her best friend, who is also a Russian spy.
Yeah.
She is like fighting. She's like, she got arrested. And so they like caught her and then she makes eye contact with him and she's like, I'm not letting him get away with this. So she decides to fight like all the guards around her.
Yeah.
And she does the best thing I've ever seen action movie wise. She jumps off a balcony and like puts her handcuffed arms behind her and how do I explain this? Okay. So she gets on the banister, taller than this man, and takes his neck and puts it behind her hands and snaps it
with the handcuffs
as she's falling. And I was like, okay. I didn't know it was that kind of movie. I was like,
all right, Miss Salt.
All right. It's so good. That movie, I really like it. Great. So Evelyn Salt, but I put her against somebody who I don't think people remember, who might be top 10, top 15 best villains in any movie ever. Syndrome from The Incredibles.
Oh my God, the dude with the ginger guy.
Yes.
I love him.
I love
He made me laugh so bad.
Exactly. He's another one of those comedic relief comics. He goes, oh, you don't recognize me? After all, I am your biggest fan. And he's like, Buddy. He's like, my name is not Buddy. He's like, oh, Elastigirl. He's like, you're in the picture too. He's like, and got busy because they had children.
Yeah.
That whole scene was so great. He's a great villain. I think the way that he died was stupid, but like they said, no capes. And
no
that's
capes.
all you need to know. Syndrome is a great villain. And I think that what makes the whole story better is that he was his biggest fan and he wanted to be a hero. And again, I actually have trouble trying to figure out what this, I know what it means, but this quote like pops in my head, and Syndrome said it. He goes, he's like, my plan is to, because I'm a superhero based on the technology that I made, he's like, my idea is to sell this technology to everybody, because when everybody's super, nobody will be. Which I get it, because like you can't be different if everybody's different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought it was like an interesting quote, and the way that he said it. And he has the best villain lair out of any movie I've ever seen. Because remember, he has like the waterfall that separates. You got to walk through. Yeah, that was
so cool.
So cool. And then like when Mr. Incredible breaks in and then he gets shot with like those stupid like growing black spongy balls.
Yeah.
Crazy. And he almost killed Mirage, who was Syndrome's helper lady. And he was like,
that's
Mr.
the beautiful
Incredible
lady with the silver hair, right?
Yes. And she was like, actually, the voice actress, she died. It was a Mexican woman. I don't remember her name. She passed away. Excuse me. But when Mr. Incredible like was trapped and that he like was gonna kill her in front of Syndrome, he was like, I'll kill her. And he's like, it'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick. And Syndrome was like, what makes you think I care?
What makes you?
And then that's why she ended up helping him. She was like, next time you want to break a superhero, bet your own life. And he was like, it's fine. You're fine. You're great. It's great. Also great when Mrs. Incredible came in and punched her in the mouth because they were a little too close for her liking. Mm-hmm. But anyway, in general, Syndrome, I think, is a very underrated super villain, because he really, they didn't catch him when they did, he would have won. I think so. And he was so young. He was basically like 20 years old. Mm-hmm. Great villain. So Syndrome versus Evelyn Salt. I actually don't know who I would pick. Oh God, I didn't think about this. I'm gonna go with Syndrome just because I think Salt she's a hero at the end. Syndrome was a bad guy through and through.
Through and through.
I'll pick Syndrome.
My next people are, this is gonna be quick because I feel like it's just obvious. So Scar from The Lion King and Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
why did you say like that?
because he's not a villain.
Yes, he is.
He's just a stupid meathead. He didn't do anything wrong.
He was
Scar
trying to kill Beast.
Beast is a beast. You can kill a beast. You can't kill your brother.
No, he was trying to kill Beast out of jealousy because he wanted to marry Belle.
Right, because if you
that's villainous.
But also,
he's jealous.
Fine, but don't marry a big monster wolf.
She didn't. He turns into a handsome prince.
He turned into an ugly prince. He looked better as a beast.
What?
You think Adam with his big open nostrils and ponytail with a bow at the end was cute? Are you kidding?
Oh my God. He's a French guy.
He looks like...
French men are not that cute to begin with.
Then he should have stayed as a beast. It's just like Fiona. She looked better when she was an ogre.
She did, honestly.
Sorry, not sorry.
Like, fuck it.
Be ugly. It's fine.
Anyway, but I say that it's obvious because Scar is, of course, the better villain.
He killed... Long live the king. That's in front of his nephew.
Yeah.
That, I mean...
And then he forces his nephew to run away. because he convinces him that it's his fault his father is dead.
Yeah. He's like, you should have stopped me, and you didn't.
You should. I mean, he's now everybody's gonna hate you.
It's like you didn't do anything. He's like, I gotta leave.
Run away.
Gotta go.
He's like, run away, Simba, run away.
He's like, okay.
Anyway, so Scar wins, but I do like Gaston because Beauty and the Beast is also a favorite Disney movie of mine. So that was a quick one.
I had to come to like that movie because it wasn't always my favorite because
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, I always found Belle to be like a little annoying. Like for some reason, I didn't like her until she yelled at Beast. Where she's like, no. She's like, I don't. She's like, why are you always yelling? He's like, I don't actually know. She's like, well, stop. And then I was like, okay, I like her. Before she was like, I don't know if I like living in this town where I'm the most beautiful. And she was like,
that is not what it was.
That's literally what the song is about. There's something, no, the wrong song. She goes, there must be more than this provincial life, meaning.
Yeah, because she's smart and she wants more from her life than a fucking farm.
Then leave.
That's why she left.
She didn't leave. She got chased out because her father's crazy.
Her father got
didn't
lost.
like her in the beginning. But then when she yelled at Beast, I was like, okay, I can mess with that. I like it.
But it's like her growing up a little bit. Like she leaves the village. She's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Life. Wow.
And
but then she marries the first dude that she ever meets.
Can we talk about how the horse was like, you on your own, bye. And then she was about to get murdered by a giant beast. And
of course it's a horse. You think he's going to fight the wolf? No.
I mean, if you're a good horse.
Anyway, so that was my quickie list.
Oh, that was okay. Mine,
yeah, Scar and Gaston.
Okay, I have to explain both of these because people are gonna come for me.
Okay.
They both start.
Will I come for you?
They both start with B. I'm gonna start with Brixton. Brixton is the main villain in Hobbs and Shaw. We know I like Hobbs and Shaw. People want to come for me. I haven't seen
the movie.
It's good. I like it. It's Idris Elba. He plays the main.
Oh, I like it already then. And he's a great actor.
He's incredible. And he is like I said it when I talked about the movie, he's a cybernetic villain. So like he's a human with robotic pieces added to him to keep him alive.
Okay.
And he's working for this like dark voice, and he is basically, he needs to defeat Hobbs and Shaw to get this like virus because they want basically coronavirus. They want to bottle it and like spray some people and get rid of the weak. And they want to basically
spray some people.
Yeah. You just spray a country with some sickness, and then whoever lives gets to be the winners, and then they will train them to be like soldiers.
Okay.
And so
would I like this movie? I don't know.
That's not it. They don't say that. It's literally the fastest. They're like, we just need to get rid of the weak. That's literally it.
Okay.
That's it. But so they have to find so Hobbs and Shaw end up teaming up with this girl who gets the virus, but Brixton, he needs the virus and he saw her get away with it. So he gets the voice to tell people that she's a villain and that she stole something important that the CIA needs. Okay. And so that puts like a wrench in their plans because now everybody's looking for them and is trying to kill them to get whatever the people need.
Right.
And I just like his character. I think he has a scene where he's chasing them like through a city, like, you know, every action movie does.
Yeah.
And he is so like in tune with his motorcycle that they like, Shaw is driving and they're in London. So he's driving on the left side of the street, right?
Yeah.
So like he goes around a bus and like now they can't catch him. So Brixton does this like move where he slides under the bus on his motorcycle and still catches up to them. I'm like, it's so cool. Like it's shot so beautifully. It looks so cool.
Action movies are not my favorite genre of movie, but like they're really cool.
It's so cool. I love it every time. So I really liked that scene. And then there's at the end of that scene, they get away and he gets so mad that he like takes off his helmet and throws it on the ground and like punches himself in the head.
Oh my God.
And it just looks like such true frustration. And I was like, I like it. I'm like, you committed to the craft. You literally hit yourself in the head. It's crazy.
You literally punched your skull.
So Brixton, I really like, and I put him against, my sister yelled at me because I mentioned it to her for like a second. I put Bruce, who is the shark from Nemo.
Oh my God.
Because
what?
I like him. He goes,
is he even a villain?
Knew my father.
Is he really a villain?
That's what my sister says. She goes, he's not really a villain. I'm like, right, but
he's
that's
kind
why
of
I
like
Gaston.
Him. Like he's not really a villain.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He didn't do it on purpose. He had relapse. He was trying not to. he didn't want to. He's like, I will no longer care about blood. Fish are friends, not food. And then he was like, fish are food.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because he's a shark.
That's what I'm saying. I love sharks, but I just liked his one moment of like he snapped, and then the hammerhead is like, I'm really sorry. He doesn't ever do this. He's like, I think he's just having a lapse in judgment. He's like, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Because he's trying to smash his face into the hole. So, of course, I'm picking Brixton over Bruce, but I just like Bruce.
Okay.
Honorable
mention for Bruce. My next pairing. Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
From Harry Potter.
I didn't write it because I knew you would.
Voldemort from Harry Potter and Kylo Ren from...
you put those two together?
What's wrong with that? I know who's gonna win in my brain.
Me too. Duh. But okay, go ahead.
I put them together because I didn't want to put Kylo Ren and Darth Vader together.
Why didn't you just put Kylo Ren with freaking... Who did you have earlier? Who's a lame one?
Stop.
Zuko.
Kylo Ren.
No, I'm kidding.
Zuko? Okay. Kylo Ren and Voldemort. Voldemort, I love for obvious reasons. Harry Potter, I mean, come on. Grew up watching it.
But didn't he used to be hot?
What?
Voldemort?
Oh, the actor who played the younger version of him?
The real man. Oh, no, I'm saying Voldemort. Didn't he used to be like a hot... I'm thinking of Snape. Snape used to be hot, right? Didn't he want to be with the mom?
Snape was in love with Harry Potter's mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was the hot
Snape
one.
is my favorite character of
mine
Harry
too.
Potter.
I haven't finished it, but yeah. Continue.
I didn't put Snape as a favorite villain of mine.
What's wrong with you? I love him. I haven't even seen the movies like that.
Fuck.
Wow.
Hold on. Because in my head, like, Snape, I didn't, like, think of him as, like, a villain. Because for me, it's like...
He's a villain.
He ends up not being a villain, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so it's, like, one of those situations that he doesn't... That, like, with your salt thing. He ends up not being a villain. So in my head, I was like, oh, but he's, like, a good guy.
I like him.
Oh, my God.
Bruce is not a villain.
Hold on. I need to...
reassess. Don't put him on your list because then you know you're gonna be sad if you get rid of him. Don't put him on. Just stay with the OGs that you have.
Why?
Do it.
I have fucking Hannibal Lecter.
Leave it.
I could switch Snape with Hannibal Lecter.
Leave it.
Okay. Cut that part out. I don't have Snape on my list, although he is my favorite character probably of all time, like in any movie fucking ever. Like,
what were you thinking?
Like how Sierra's favorite person of all time is Joker, like Snape is my favorite person of all fucking time. But I didn't put him on this list because I don't consider him like a true villain, even though he was a villain for most of the series. But he just has so much. Oh my fucking God! Thinking about him. And then the actor died, and I cried. Yeah. I have never like cried such real tears for like a famous person.
I cried for Paul Walker.
I didn't. I didn't cry. I mean, it was very sad. Anyway, okay, so that's why I don't have Snape on this list, but just so everybody knows, I love Snape with all my heart and soul. Okay. But Voldemort and Kylo Ren. Voldemort is an awesome villain. He has a lot of... Obviously, he has a lot of sides to him. He has a lot of sides. He has a lot of depth. Also, he's so clever. Like, I remember when I was young and I was watching all the movies. People don't come for me. I haven't read all the books. I'm sorry. I've read up to book 3.
Me too, I think.
I've read up to book 3 and I just never got around to finishing.
They're so freaking long.
Well, no, the thing was, I didn't watch them when I was super young, so I started watching them when I was in my teens. Yeah. But then once I got into high school, I kind of stopped reading altogether. So like I stopped and I just haven't made my way back. But anyway, he's such a good villain because I remember watching all the movies. I was always like, he's like 5 steps ahead of these fuckers because he's over here. He got the 7 Horcruxes. He's got Padfoot or Pennyfoot, the rat dude.
Oh, I thought it was the Yeah, I think it's Padfoot.
Yeah, Padfoot, the guy who was pretending to be Ron's rat.
Yeah.
Like, and he's got this guy over here working to, like, bring him back, and, like, Robert Pattinson gets killed because in this ritual to, like, bring Voldemort back to life. I literally, like, I don't think he was part of the ritual. I think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Classic Robert Pattinson.
They thought he was Harry Potter, so they just killed him.
Oh, classic Robert Pattinson.
Anyway, but he's just like a smart, like he plays it smart, even though at the end he loses. But like he almost fucking won. Like, let's think about that for a second. The end of that series wasn't looking great for Wizards, okay?
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Was, the walls were falling down. Everything was caving in. Fucking Fred dies. The whole, like...
Fred Weasley dies?
You didn't know that?
Fred Weasley dies?
Ceara!
Oh my god.
One of the twins. It's Fred.
I know who they are. Oh my god.
Everything. So, as you can see...
J.K. Rowling!
As you can see... Everything is falling apart. Voldemort is closing in. Harry Potter is like having an existential crisis. Everything. So Voldemort almost fucking won. Don't even try and come over here and play me, because he almost won. He's a smart ass villain and I appreciate him. However, Kylo Ren, if for you, those of you who don't know, Han Solo and Leia's son. His real name is
Adam
Ben
Driver.
Adam Driver, one of my favorite actors.
I hate him. He's probably fine.
He was also really good in the movie Silence with Andrew Garfield.
He was also really good in Girls with Lena Dunham. By the way, she was the gremlin who I was trying to remember, and I don't like her.
Okay.
I don't like her.
Okay. Okay. But so Kylo Ren, his actual name is Ben. He's Han Solo's son with Princess Leia. His backstory basically is that like Luke was training them to be Jedi. Some shit happened. Ben had like a meltdown and he became
evil.
Ben basically went to the dark side and he's working with it was Snoke, I believe his name was, in the first. These are the new Star Wars movies. And I'm a Star Wars nerd. So, you know, that's just my life. I love his character. Because, one, he's Han Solo's son, so I automatically love him.
He's Han Solo's son?
I just said that 2 seconds ago.
I wasn't thinking.
Yes, he's Han Solo's son, so I automatically love him because Han Solo is also one of my favorite people of all time. Han Solo and Snape are like top.
Wow.
So I already loved him from the beginning. Which I can't remember if in his first appearance we didn't know he was Han Solo's son. I think we found that out later. I have to rewatch the newer movies because I've only watched each of them like once. But anyway, he and Rey, the girl
I know her
lead in those movies, have like this bond or this connection. In the last movie, they kind of explain it that they're like a pair of Jedi born. It happens every few like decades or millennium or whatever, that they're connected by some like force, and I don't know all the details on that, so don't, you know, ask me, but they're just connected on a deeper level. Yes.
What are the details? I'm kidding.
So me being the romantic that I am, I knew from the beginning that they were going to end up together. So I just knew that in my heart of hearts. Everybody was like, oh my God, is she going to end up with Finn? And why would she end up with Finn? And I'm like, pause.
Finn's supposed to end up with the black man.
Finn is the black man.
Oh, I mean with whoever the...
Rey? No,
the
Finn
man.
is with the Asian girl.
Finn needs to be with the man. Who's that man?
Poe?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, they're supposed to be together.
They're best friends.
They're together.
Okay, but Finn ends up with the Asian girl that I can't remember her name. I didn't think they were a good couple, but I partially think that they did that because they wanted people to stop putting Rey and Finn together. But
Poe, Finn, pin, hashtag pin,
Finn,
hashtag
foe. Let's go get some foe.
No.
Anyway, I love the depth of Kylo Ren. You see it in every scene, and I think Adam Driver did a really good job of portraying the character. Because even in the scene when he kills, sorry, spoilers, even in the scene when he kills Han Solo, which is his father.
He kills his father.
Yes.
Oh my God.
in the scene, Ceara, you can cut this out if you want, but Ceara, in this scene, okay. Basically, everybody is trying at some point to get Ren back on the good side. Kylo Ren is by himself in this, like, it's like a bit long walkway. And Han Solo, this is kind of one of the first times that they're like together and actually speaking. Han Solo is coming up to him and being like, Ren, like, you can come, Ben, you can come back to the, like, it's not too late. You can come back. Like, I'll help you. And Ben is like, I know, like, I want to go back, but I don't know how. Like, I don't know how to get out of this. And that's kind of a theme for Ren's character throughout the whole series or these new movies, is that you can see that he's not actually wanting to be on the bad side. Like, he thinks that he has to, because he idolizes Darth Vader, which is his grandfather. Obviously Leia is his mom. So he idolizes his grandfather. He wants to be like his grandfather. So he's like, I have to be on the dark side because, you know. But even Darth Vader himself was not all bad. At the end of those movies, he became good as well. So Ren is the parallel to Darth Vader. But so back to the scene. So Han Solo is walking up to Ben, like, you know, you can come back. I'll help you. I'm here for you, whatever, your mother, and blah, blah, blah. So, and it looks like, and Ben is like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But as he's saying that, and he like goes in to like hug his dad, he like turns his lightsaber on and like skewers Han Solo.
You didn't even tell me how he killed him. That's how I saw it. They're so dramatic.
And then Han Solo falls off the edge and like falls into the abyss.
The depths of whatever.
Yeah.
Oh no. Kylo, no.
With the exception of another movie, I have never cried so hard in a movie. Like, the feelings that I got from that scene just like crushed me.
Imagine I'm crying.
My God.
Wow.
Anyway, so
shook. I
have a lot of love for Kylo Ren. So in this pairing, Kylo Ren for me wins, but
versus who?
Voldemort. I could have put Snape, but that would have been really hard.
Don't do that. That's why I said don't change it.
Snape.
Kylo Ren.
But anyway, so Kylo Ren wins. Sorry for my fucking.
No, you're good. Okay, so my next one, my last two are so hard. We have, how many more do you have? One more?
1 second.
No, I went first, so you have two more. I went first, so you have two more.
Yes, I have two more.
Okay, so this one is my second to last. They're both very hard. So for this one, I have Dr. Facilier, which is the villain in Princess and the Frog.
That I was like, that sounds familiar. Yeah. Okay.
Side.
That movie was so good.
The movie is so good. Evangeline with the bug who's in love with the star.
I love his. He's the cutest. Like,
so much
when he died.
I don't know if y'all know, but
the firefly dies.
And it was so upsetting because he's like, I'm coming to see you, Evangeline. And then at the end, they had a star next to the star.
I know. So like, cute.
I can't believe it. Anyway, that movie is so well written, in my opinion.
It's a great movie.
It's so good. And I've progressively been able to breathe less and less in your home. What did you do to me? Like, I'm.
Do you need me to get you meds?
No, I'm good, but thank you.
I'm gonna clean after you leave.
Why didn't you clean before I got here? I'm kidding. Okay, so Dr. Facilier is the evil man who is the voodoo doctor.
Yeah.
He, again, I need him to have his own movie because in the movie we find out that he made a deal with the Shadow Man to become the voodoo man to save his own life. So again, it's one of these situations where he is evil, not on his own will.
Descendants, the Disney movies.
Yes.
He has a daughter in those movies.
Really?
In the third Descendants movie, his daughter, I forget her name, but his daughter comes over to like anyway, whatever. Yes. But we're talking about this dude, so I remembered that, but continue. He's not a villain on his own.
Yeah, on his own will. So I really liked his character and the way that he's very like shifty. And I don't know. I just really, when I saw him, I was like, oh, he really got it. And then I heard his song. I've got friends on the other side. So good. And before he starts singing the song, he is in contact with the prince. So the prince is like about to be poor. And the man, nobody knows that, but the man who works for him, basically like his white servant man, dude. Yeah, he is like upset with his life and jealous of the prince because he's handsome and everybody likes him and he has a lot of money, but nobody knows he's about to run out of money. So the evil voodoo man takes advantage of that by trying to get the little fat white henchman guy to trade lives with the prince so that he can be beautiful and have a life where he's not miserable. Yeah. And before he even starts, he's about to explain to the man how he can change his life. And he goes, don't you go disrespecting me, little man. You're in my world, not your world now. And then like, I was like, oh, he's got me. I was like, I don't even know what's about to happen, but he's got me. And just that whole, I don't know, that whole Louisiana swang in the movie is so good. And he's just like, I don't know, he's just a well-written, well-rounded villain. And like, it's upsetting because like with the bug's death where he ends up killing him, he had no remorse, which is fine, but you can tell that, not from this scene, but like he doesn't want to, he's being controlled. Yeah. And so it's like, it's very sad because he's like puppeteering other people, but he is also a puppet. And so it's really, I don't know, I just think it's really roundabout and crazy. But I think he's an excellent villain and his song is incredible. I put him against, some would say, the greatest villain. Ooh. Thanos. You want to talk about almost won?
He's on my list.
He
later
did win, and then we find out he didn't. But that's cheating because they undid his win. He won. Yeah. Thanos is the best villain to ever exist.
Do I even need to talk about him?
I don't know.
Thanos,
you do what you want to do. But also, I thought from the when we first saw him, it was at the end of one of the movies. It must have been maybe Thor. We saw him like turn around to the camera. He wasn't even fully finalizing what he was gonna look like, and so I looked at him. I was like, this guy, he kind of looks like he's gonna be a problem, but I was like, I don't know him. Yeah. And then I started doing like research, looking at the comics, and I was like, wait a minute, Thanos causes some problems for some people.
Thanos is in like every iteration of like a Marvel comic with any superhero, with anything,
and he looks exactly the same.
Thanos is always, has always, and will always be the villain of the Marvel universe for all of those superheroes. Like,
because he was always ahead of everybody, and
they did
that's why they showed.
Job.
I think that's why I'm thinking he was shown in Thor because when Loki betrays the Dark Elves, the Dark Elves were working for Thanos. Yeah, and at that point, I thought the Dark Elves were the most powerful that they could get because they're the one who gave Loki the Chitauri, which are those like floating robot things that like with the spine, which I thought was the coolest thing I've ever seen to date. So cool, like how they are like the way that they fly and like
wave.
And they like inchworm through the sky. Crazy. Anyway. Anywho,
and so I believe Thanos. Isn't there something of Guardians of the Galaxy? Before this,
I didn't see it.
I feel like they mentioned Thanos' name in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. I
think so. Yeah, because he's in the galaxy. Well, he had because she's his daughter.
No,
so
I know, but I'm pretty sure they also talk about him in those movies.
Yeah,
like I think the first or second movie.
In general, without going through every single movie that he's been mentioned in, I think he's the greatest villain strictly because I think everybody might have been shook. I was shook when he killed Gamora for the whatever that stone is.
I knew it was gonna happen.
I had no idea. I thought
I
was
could sense it was gonna happen
for sure. I was like, he'll kill her, but I was like, you're not gonna win because you don't love her. And he's like, daughter, you're literally the only thing I've ever loved. And she was like, ha, you lose. You don't love nothing. He's
and
like,
it actually kills her.
I actually love you. And she was like, Yikes.
That was the big, like,
I was like, that's crazy.
That moment, it's like, it's what makes him such a good villain, because
exactly,
it's like,
yes,
he actually feels love. Like, he loved her as a daughter.
That's exactly what you said right there. And I'm going to elaborate. That's what makes him a good villain, because he knew what he wanted and he sacrificed love for his end goal. He was like, regardless of what I love and what I'm here to do or what I like, I'm here to complete a task because I have a vision and I know that it's better off for everybody else. And just the fact that he was just always in the right place at the right time. And I was just like, wow, he really controlled everybody in the entire Marvel universe.
Even the scene where like the Guardians of the Galaxy people show up to like pick up one of the stones from like that merchant guy, and like they come in and they think it's real life, and then Gamora like kills Thanos and they're like, that was fucking easy. Yeah. And then Thanos is like, haha, you thought, and like turns back, you know, like he was basically creating the reality for them. Even that, it's like you're always a step ahead of everybody. Yeah. Like you're always there, you're always, and it must have hurt him so much, like every time Gamora like said how much that she hated him, or like the fact that in this alternate reality she killed him, but she cried about it. Like she cried about killing him
because she loves him, dagger, but she doesn't want to,
with the dagger that he gave her when he found her.
I think the one thing that makes villains more human to people is that they can never complete their task because they get distracted by other things. He was like, I can't. He's like, I know what I'm supposed to do and I'm gonna do it by all means. And that's why I really liked him. And I think it's evident by how much I talk about him who wins this bracket. So Thanos versus Dr. Facilier. I love Dr. Facilier, but for sure the winner is Thanos.
My next matchup.
On the other side.
My next matchup, I will be quick about, or I'll try to be. Hannibal Lecter. I forget what Silence of the Lambs, I think, is his like main movie. Who's the guy that plays him?
I have no idea. Silence of the Jack Nicholson? Is that no, that's Here's Johnny. Where's Johnny? Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
That's Jack Nicholson, but I don't know what movie that is.
That's The Shining.
Oh,
I was gonna put him on my list as well.
I don't watch horror movies. So
one second. Hannibal. I'm gonna look up because I want to. Hannibal Lecter was played by Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, I know him.
Sir Philip Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Wow, he has a long name.
He's a sir. He was ordained by the queen.
Oh shit. Okay, his little history lesson. But okay. So Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, and Darth Vader. My winner is obvious, but I just want to say, what?
I was trying to think of who it was, but go ahead.
Darth Vader.
That's who I thought.
The obvious winner, but. I just want to say Hannibal Lecter is such a good villain. I love that movie, Silence of the Lambs. I've watched it with my mom a lot of times.
No, thank you.
I think partially why I like Hannibal Lecter so much is because of the actor, Anthony Hopkins. He does such a good job acting and portraying him. And he's just like, what's the word I'm looking for?
A dime piece.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say.
He's just such a creepy villain.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's a cannibal and and there's been so many different iterations of Hannibal Lecter. I'm specifically talking about Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of Hannibal Lecter. There's another show. There's another show that I liked that had Hannibal Lecter.
Dexter? Is that it? No, that's not right.
Dexter is a show, but that's not Hannibal Lecter. The show is called Hannibal. But the show Hannibal.
Yeah. I thought they're single names, so I always put them together.
Yeah, that was also a really good show. I liked the kind of more depth on the character of Hannibal Lecter in that show. But anyway, I really like him as a villain. I had to mention him in some capacity. But Darth Vader, Star Wars. I mean, come on. You say what you want about the prequel movies, but Anakin Skywalker was such a good character. I personally loved him. I think the actor did a great job. A lot of people don't agree with me, and that's fine. But I was also a teenage girl, and I was in love with him, so it's fine. Him and Padme's relationship.
Who?
Padme,
Oh,
the girl in the movies. I'm forgetting who played her. Also,
I've never seen them, so I don't know.
You've never seen any movie?
No.
Okay. Well, him and Padme's relationship, loved that. She was played by, no, not Padma. I need Padme.
Not Padma.
Senator Amidala from the movies.
I have no idea what you just said. No idea what those.
Natalie Portman played her. Do you know who Natalie Portman is?
Yes, I don't like her, but yeah.
Okay. But again, always the hopeless romantic. I love their relationship. I love that it was like a secret relationship. They couldn't be together because Anakin was a Jedi and they're not supposed to marry and whatever, but they were in love in secret. They got married in secret. She got pregnant in secret. Obviously that's how Luke and Leia came into the earth. But I love Darth Vader because we got so much depth into who he was. He had time. He had all those movies, all that series, the prequel series, because you meet him when he's a child, like when he's still a slave, and then you meet him like as he becomes a Jedi throughout. Then you see his turn to the dark side. You see why he needs to be in the suit. You see him in the suit, him and his relationship with Luke and how he struggles so bad because he doesn't want to be. Why does he need
the suit? He got asthma?
He was burned in lava.
Oh.
And like all his body.
That's worse than asthma.
Well, Obi-Wan cuts off his limbs and then he gets burned in lava on a planet. And
God, what happened to Darth Vader? Oh
because Anakin turned to the dark side and then he killed a bunch of Jedi and then he went to the Jedi temple. He killed all the Padawans, the young children. He killed all the young children. He almost killed Padme. He almost killed Padme and his children. Padme loses all will for life. Like, she could have survived, but she had no will to live, so she died in childbirth. So technically, he kind of was the reason that she died, but because she saw him do, like, you know.
This movie.
So
these
Darth
movies
Vader
are darker than I thought.
Darth Vader is now being kept alive by a suit that he wears. That's what you see all the time. Yeah, he's being kept alive by that suit. Yeah. But you also see his struggle with Luke, and like he is not all bad. Like, he wants to be with Luke and be a good person, but he feels, again, just like Kylo Ren, he feels trapped. Like, I have been in this, like, I don't think I can go back. I've done so much bad. I don't think I can go back. And at the end of the series, in the 6th movie, Luke is almost being killed by the Chancellor, or what, the Supreme Leader, or whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the starts with a P.
Prime Minister.
Yes. Anyway, so Luke is being killed and Darth Vader is watching, basically, and he can't see his son die, so he goes against the dark side, and in that moment for me he goes back to the good. But then he dies shortly after. So Palpatine, Chancellor Palpatine is killing Luke, and Darth Vader stops him, kills Palpatine, or so we think, because Palpatine does come back in the new movies, and then eventually dies. And anyway. Oh my god, I totally forgot to mention when I was talking about Kylo Ren, him and Rey do end up together, and then he fucking dies. Like, he kisses her and then dies the second after they kiss, and I cried so bad in the movie, I like couldn't even. Anyway, but Darth Vader, so that's why I said, like, Darth Vader is or Kylo Ren is the parallel to Darth Vader, because their stories are pretty similar.
You know, they say that happens a lot, like your bloodline in terms of how you behave. Sometimes it skips a generation and you're more like your grandparent than your parent.
Yeah. So like they are very similar to one another. Anyway, so Darth Vader wins for me.
Wow.
My next one is
This is my
I don't know. It's kind of obsolete. You've talked about both the people, so.
Oh, my very last one. I don't think you know. Oh no, you know one of these people. Oh no, you know both. But I don't think anybody would have remembered that I love these people because I forgot for a second. But never. But I they were always in the back of my mind. I forgot that my entire existence as a child, my favorite villain was Magneto.
From X-Men?
My entire life, he was my favorite.
I really like him too.
I literally, what happened was I watched one X-Men and I saw him, like not even the very first one. It was like the one of the newer ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember anybody who's in it because they all are the same and they're all different characters every time. And I'm like,
the new movies?
Yeah, they always have new characters. I'm like,
what do you mean new characters?
Sorry,
new actors.
Oh. And I'm like, I don't know which is which.
I could tell you.
I don't know, but I always loved Magneto, and I liked him when it was who's the older guy who played him?
I don't know the actor's name.
I don't know his name either, but he's like that wise man. I love him. I loved him as Magneto, but then when they showed Magneto as young with Michael Fassbender, I love Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
And I loved him specifically for Magneto. And when they showed Magneto's story of when he was...
They did a really good job.
Yeah, when they painted the story of how he became evil because of what happened with the Nazis and stuff like that, I was
then
like,
his family was murdered.
Yeah, but they never really like went into depth of that because
they showed a whole scene of them in the woods and the daughter gets killed in front of him.
It was like a vision.
Well, he was remembering it.
Excuse me.
That they were in the woods and the Nazis were chasing them and the daughter, he was hugging the daughter and they shot her.
I feel like that story, I know more about it because I actually went back to the comics and read about it. So it's like I feel like the movie didn't do
They did have a scene when his daughter dies and when his wife gets killed.
I actually do remember, but it wasn't as visceral for me.
Yeah.
But Magneto, I loved him. And then when I was a kid, this is very telling of who I am. I saw his thighs in the suit and I was like, yeah, that's it for me. I was like, yeah, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Love him. Actually,
he is a really good villain.
He's one of the greatest, but he
could have been on my list too. See, there's so many, all of these dumbass choices I could have made.
Dumbass. Speaking of thighs, real quick, let's pause this bracket.
I got thighs.
His thighs I liked when I was a kid, and also the evil Asian man in Mulan, Shere Khan or whatever. I loved him just for his physique. And then everybody's like, look at his face. So I was like, I never looked at his face. I was always looking like neck down. I was like, yeah.
That's like me now, like big dudes.
I've been on
Bears.
that. I've been on that. But let's jump back in. So yeah, Magneto has always been my favorite villain. I paired him with somebody who I think is a very underrated villain because people don't understand him. Thin Man from Charlie's Angels. Played by Crispin Glover.
Who he is.
You gotta watch Charlie's Angels. Thin Man is this like weird guy. First of all, Crispin Glover is a weird guy.
What else has he been in?
He was in Back to the Future. He's like the cute, like nerdy guy. I've never seen Back to the Future, so I don't know. But I'm gonna show you a photo.
Was he the professor in Back to the Future?
No. Crispin Glover was like a student. And actually, they always say in Back to the Future, they had issues filming. Like the movies could have been better, but Crispin Glover is such a weird person. Like he was being difficult. But they couldn't write him out because he was, I don't know who he was because I've never seen it, but he had like an integral part.
Let me see him.
Do you want to see him old?
I want to see him.
This is how he looks in the movie, but this is how he looks in real life. I love him. I think he's very hot. My mom thinks I'm a psychopath.
Yeah, he's not cute.
No, I like him.
I don't remember what character he played in Back to the Future, but he's not cute.
Back to the Future, I'll tell you right now.
He's not the professor.
No, he's a student. He plays, it says Crispin Glover, for the love of God. It doesn't say. Did they write him off?
What? You just said they couldn't.
They couldn't, but I can't. They took him off of the Google. He's not on the Google. He played George McFly. So that's Marty McFly's brother? Who was that?
His dad? He played his father?
Is that his father? But he was young in the movie.
Yeah, but Back to the Future, they go back to the past.
Oh, so he's his father? Cool.
Marty McFly almost sleeps with his mom.
Yeah, I know that, but I've never
seen
it.
So his dad is also in that movie.
Yeah,
obviously.
So he is the dad.
Wow. How is that even possible? That was like, how did I not recognize him?
I don't know. He looks the same though. Like he was cute, but like here he is. This is him. He's so cute.
Oh yeah,
He's the dad.
Okay, yeah.
I love him. He's so sweet and so awkward. And he actually is like in real life as an actor, he's crazy. He has a movie. I don't know what it's called at the moment, but it's basically like this guy who is like a reclusive person who only hangs out with rats. And all of his friends are rats. And I think he wrote the movie, directed the movie, starred in the movie, and created the movie for himself to be in.
That's weird.
He's like a crazy person. But I like him because he's very weird. He plays Thin Man in Charlie's Angels, and he's equally as weird. And basically, he doesn't talk, and he's like a villain who is like a henchman for other villains. So he kind of like does his own thing, but like if people need help, he'll help them. And like he was an orphan, so he lived in a orphanage that was run by nuns, and like when they would give him a haircut, he would be weird and just like sit in the chair and scream. And then he would rip out the hair of the nun, like reach into their thing and rip out the hair and then rub it on his face. And so during Charlie's Angels,
that's gross.
Dylan is played by Drew Barrymore's character, and he like has like a little love moment with her and like rips out her hair and rubs it on his face. And then at the end, he does it again, and she rips out his hair and rubs it on her face.
Oh my god!
And then
that's
he dies.
so
But
creepy.
you have to watch Charlie's Angels for Justin Theroux. Justin Theroux is in the very last one, and he plays Drew Barrymore's love interest, and he's in prison because of her, and he is angry at her. His introductory scene is him doing sit-ups from the ceiling. Let me tell you, I wasn't ready for him to drop down. Accent abysmal. He's supposed to be Irish. He sounds crazy. I'm off the rails here, but you have to see those movies.
Okay.
So Magneto versus Thin Man. Magneto clearly wins, but I think Thin Man is great. He doesn't have any powers or anything. He's just as weird and fast.
Wow.
I don't know. He's weird. You really have to watch it because there's 2. I think there's only
the original.
I think
Charlie's
there's only
Angels?
2. Not like the OG, but the ones with
With
Drew
Drew
Barrymore,
Barrymore?
Cameron Diaz.
What are the
and
OG?
There's like OG ones back in the day, aren't there?
I don't fucking know. I've
don't
never
know.
seen any of those movies.
Yeah, you have to watch it. They're very good. They're on Netflix. I watched them. Yeah, I think
all of
2.
them are on Netflix.
Yeah, there's only 2, I believe. But because the stories are so in depth and they have some of them have multiple villains, I feel like there's more, and they're funny. It's cool.
Okay.
So anyway, Magneto versus Thin Man. Magneto wins.
And that was your last one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my last one. We've already talked about both these people, Thanos and Joker.
You put the 2 greatest against each. What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
What if they had? I mean, you already spoke about them, so I don't know that.
I'm trying to think who I would pick. I literally don't
Between
know.
the two of them,
I know who I would pick actually, and it
would
hurts
you pick
me
Joker?
to say it.
I would
No,
pick Thanos.
I would pick Thanos.
Me too. As much as I love Joker, I think Thanos just overall
He is a villain.
his reach throughout the whole universe, his planning, his thought, his pure like will to just like go after his plan, like,
yeah.
And we've already talked about everything with the daughter and all that stuff, so I don't need to reiterate that. But for me, I think, and I did put the 2 big ones next to each other.
What is wrong with you?
I love Joker. I've always loved Joker, and I always will love Joker. However, Thanos beats out Joker for me, and that was quick because we already talked about them. So
wow. Okay, well now we
first
have our big
only. First round.
Well, now we introduced them, so now we just gotta deduce.
Okay.
All right, am I going?
Do you want to do the same, like 1-1-1?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so
go with your first.
My first one is Loki versus the Joker. Oh my god!
I already know who wins that. Come on, you know who wins that. Seriously?
Loki versus the Joker.
You really think you're gonna put the Joker, your favorite fucking person?
Joker. I'm picking Joker over Loki.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought
knew
you were telling
that.
me I was supposed to pick Loki.
No.
Yeah, I'm picking Joker.
I was saying, how would you put Loki over your favorite person?
Loki, I really like.
I understand that. I understand
favorite.
that, but like you love Joker.
I
so
love
much.
Joker so much.
Okay, my first one is Yzma Prince Zuko. I'm doing Prince Zuko. So.
Oh yeah.
Next one.
Next one, I have Hades versus Ultron. It hurt. I know the answer is Ultron, but it hurts me. I do really like Hades. All right. Ultron is the final winner of that round.
Okay. My next one is Frollo and Ramsay Bolton. Just for reiteration, Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame and Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones, and Ramsay Bolton is winning that. So.
Okay. Wait, Ramsay? Oh, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, my next one is Syndrome from The Incredibles versus Brixton from Hobbs and Shaw.
Ooh.
That's a weird matchup. Yeah,
yeah.
They're like two. I don't really care about them for who they are, but for kind of like what they do. I will pick Brixton just because Syndrome gets kind of stupid towards the end.
Yeah,
like he's too young.
He's like a mad fanboy.
Yeah, he's like he wasn't really great. I'll pick Brixton.
My next one is Scar or Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren.
Duh.
So,
but Scar really. I have never finished The Lion King. But I really was shooketh when he was like long.
You never finished it?
I don't like The Lion King and I don't like Toy Story. I
Toy
never
Story,
did.
I
the
mean,
movie, both of them are just.
My favorite scene. My favorite scene in Toy Story is when he's cleaning Woody.
Oh, and then painting, and he does the eyeball.
Yes, that's my favorite scene in all of Toy Story.
Is when they're in the crane machine and they're like, you have been chosen.
Oh yeah.
That's the only. I can't remember much from that movie because I didn't like it a lot. But I think maybe I liked them, but I don't want to see them again. I've watched all of them except for the most recent one. Oh, with Bo Peep as like in pants. You know who I couldn't. It just hit me. She looked fine in a fucking dress. I don't know what the problem is. I have an honorable mention that I couldn't figure out how to put on this list, so I didn't mention them. Okay. The humans from WALL-E were the best villains ever because they were fat. The humans from WALL-E. But not the ones who became fat. The ones who chose to let the world become garbage and then were like, we'll just get on a plane and drive through space. It's fine. And then you just pretend it's day, pretend it's night. I love how that movie came out 10 years ago. We have not changed at all. We've gotten worse. We've gotten absolutely worse. I mean, we're trying. I'm trying because I wasn't before. That movie really shook me to my core as a child. But what were we doing? What was your pairing? I'm getting there. My last pairing is. I did Scar, Kylo Ren. Then you did. No, I haven't gone yet. Oh, okay. Okay. I have my last one, and then you should have one more. Right? Yeah. Mine is Thanos versus Magneto. Girl. I don't like this one. Girl. I think I know how this day is going to end. Oh. Of course I'm going Thanos, but I thought about it for a second to see if Magneto could win. He wouldn't win against Thanos. But I love him. My next pairing is Darth Vader and Thanos. And Thanos wins. You against Darth Vader? Oh, yeah. We just talked about this. We just talked about it. Oh, God. Oh my God! I think I know. Oh God! Hold on. Because Thanos is just like, dude. Like I don't think you could have written a better villain. No. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fuck. Okay. He was so good. They had to go back in time to undo it. That's crazy. They shouldn't have done it. I don't think. Huh? I feel like the ending of it was good. Like when they went back and brought people back and stuff. But I feel like. They should have just left it. Like Thanos won and that's it. I hated Hawkeye, not Falcon. Hawkeye, the guy with the arrows who became evil and he became Ronin. And he was just killing people when everybody died because his family died, remember? Yes. I hated that. Me too. I was like, it doesn't. And then you just get to come back like nothing happened. Yeah, he was like, just kidding. JK, I have my family back. I'm like, dude, first of all, do you know that he has music? Jeremy Renner? Of course, I know everything about everybody from that movie. But he's a singer. He's been a singer before he was an actor. I don't like his music. I like his voice. I don't like his music. I don't like his music. Heaven don't have a name. I was like, what the fuck? He has a song called Heaven Don't Have a Name. I'm like, you can't just do that, sir. Did. No. I'm talking about in the movie. Oh yeah. No. You can't, sir. You can't. This is not. He was just like, this is not a free for all for you. Okay. No. Yeah. Just because Scarlett Johansson died, don't mean you gotta fucking. He did it before that. But I'm saying just because your family is gone and all that bullshit
doesn't mean that you get to like be a bad guy and then come back. Come back. Your family's gonna find out about what you did, sir.
I don't think they are. Nobody knows.
They should.
That all of it is confusing. All right, so we're down to the 2.
Yeah.
2 against 2. Oh God,
this is hard.
I don't like this. I know what the right. What's gonna happen on the right? I have Joker versus Ultron. Oh no. Oh God. Joker versus Ultron. Joker caused more damage in a less amount of time, so I'm gonna pick Joker because Ultron had a lot of time and he really could have done some damage, but he didn't.
But isn't that better because he like planned it over time?
Who? No, it's sad because he had all of the knowledge and still didn't execute it correctly.
My first pairing is Prince Zuko and Ramsay Bolton. Again from Game of Thrones. Prince Zuko from Airbender. I'm actually gonna pick Prince Zuko.
Ooh.
Because of the fact that I actually liked Zuko.
Yeah.
And I liked his character development. Ramsay kind of just stayed on the same level the whole time. Like he was just always evil, which is fine. Like his character, again, I really loved his villain character. Well, I hated and loved him, but I hated him. But Prince Zuko, he actually had like development and he became somebody that I liked. So I am going to go with Zuko. Wow.
I had no idea this would actually happen to me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. Of course, I thought. Can you stop choking on the podcast?
I'm sorry, cut it out.
Of course, my 2 favorite villains of all time are Joker and Thanos. I didn't think that they would.
You didn't think that if you put them on the same list, you would end up with both of them at the end?
No.
That's why I put them together already, because I'm like, I know eventually they're gonna fucking end up together.
Well, my last one of the 2 is Brixton versus Thanos. Of course, I'm picking Thanos. So that leaves me with Thanos versus Joker. Who are you left with?
And I'm left with, well, my last pairing is Kylo Ren versus Thanos.
Okay.
And like I want to say,
oh God, I didn't think this through.
I just like, I love Kylo Ren more. Like I feel more emotionally connected to Kylo Ren than I do to Thanos.
Yeah.
So like while Thanos is like arguably the best written villain of all time, like Kylo Ren, for me, I'm just more emotionally invested in him.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to say that Kylo Ren wins. But people are probably going to come for me. Not that it matters.
Then pick Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. I'm going to pick Kylo Ren for that reason. Like I'm more emotionally invested in Kylo Ren, but I appreciate the Thanos character. And you have Thanos anyway, so like whatever.
I'm upset.
Kylo Ren.
Are you kidding
me?
my
last people is Prince Zuko against Kylo Ren.
Wow. Mine is Joker versus Thanos.
You have a hard one. I already played this game. I don't even
know what to do with myself.
Well, earlier you said that you would pick Thanos.
I know who would win in this. For me, I would. I'm nervous to say this.
Why?
Because
it's just the real deal.
I didn't think I would have to do this.
On live television. I didn't think I'd have to do this in this earth.
I didn't think about it. Okay, I'm picking my final villain.
Best villain of all time
is Joker.
What? Yeah, you shocked me with that one.
Because I think I like the struggle of Joker versus the consistent wins of Thanos.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So Joker wins for me.
Ooh, okay. I like that. All right. My last pairing is Zuko and Kylo Ren. And for me, Kylo Ren is going to win.
Wow.
Because when Kylo Ren died, I just like... I can't even explain to you like what my emotions were in that moment. I was just like, what the fuck? And he like had just kissed Rey. Like they had just,
and you were like, wow.
They had just realized that they were in love with each other pretty much. Like they were like, oh my God, and then they kiss, and it was such a passionate kiss. Adam Driver, thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Literally such a passionate kiss in that scene, and then he died because he gave her his last like life force so that she could live, because she was also fucking dying. Oh my god.
Oh god. Wow.
So my favorite villain of all time is Kylo Ren.
Wow.
So we have ended this episode with the Joker and Kylo Ren.
So yeah, Joker won, Kylo Ren won. What a great episode.
I had fun.
I'm excited for the future. We're in it, man.
We are in
Double distraction.
Thank you guys for listening. We had a lot of fun filming. We hope you had a good time listening. Don't forget to comment who your favorite villain is, and give us or subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any more episodes. Also head over to Instagram and like and follow our page, double.distraction.pod. That's where we put all our updates and things like that. And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions on topics or things you want us to talk about, DM us, message us, whatever you want to do. We are always open to suggestions. So we'll catch you guys next time.
That is that. Bye.
Peace.
Oh my god.